Here's a story that sort of does demonstrate what we just talked about, revealing the essence of the Jewish soul, uh, specifically in bad situations when you have everything to lose by choosing Judaism. Nevertheless, doing it because that's what God wants, even though you benefit nothing from it. The story goes like this. I think I told the story before. I can't remember what stories I told, what I didn't tell, but I'm going to tell the story anyway. The story happens in the time of Stalin. May his name be wiped out forever. And these are two Jews, Chabad Jews, that they were put into exile. Some were sent to Siberia. These were sent in Kazakhstan, Kazakhstan, I think, however it's called. Where they were in some forsaken place. And that's where they were. They had to be there for 2 years, 5 years. And they had to report like every day to the KGB's headquarters. So one was talking to the other. As far as I remember, the two Jews, one of them was called Mochkin and the other one was called Prus, I think. Maybe I'm wrong with this, but that's what I think. They're well-known names in Chabad. One said to the other, what a miserable situation we're in. In a few days is going to be SUCCOT, and we can't do the holiday of SUCCOT. And the other one said, right, we haven't got lulav and etrog, that's true. And the reason we were put into jail, the reason we're sent into exile is because we did the commandments. And we're doing the commandments. But the fact is we do have a sukkah. The other one said, how can we have a sukkah? So he said, I'll tell you. In Russia, there's a lot of towns, places, you go down the street, if you drive down any street, so all you see is just like a big wall with windows in it. And once in a while, there's a big opening. What is it really? What you're seeing is like the houses, the entrance to the house, you have to go into this big yard. And once in a while in the street, there's this big opening that a car can go into. And the cars go in and they park so that you're not parking on the street. You're parking in this big open yard. And the entrances to the houses come through this yard. Right? Every house is. But when you're going on the street, all you see is just a wall. And once in a while, like if it's an important building or something, then maybe there's a door on the street. But if not, okay. So one of them said, I was wandering around and I went behind the buildings, into this open yard. And I noticed that there was an old shack attached to one of the houses, with one of the walls. And I looked inside, every day I did it very, very quietly, surreptitiously, what they call it, very, so nobody would notice. And I saw there was one old shack and there was nothing in the shack. It was just like old rags and, things. So every day I took out like one of the rags and I threw it away. And then I started removing one of the ceiling tiles from the ceiling, one of the boards from the ceiling, and I replaced it with foliage, and it ends up we have a kosher sukkah. It's very small, but we can go in the nighttime, and that's when I did it, in the nighttime, when nobody was noticing. We can go in the nighttime, I'll light a little candle before, a little lamp before the night, and we'll go in, and we'll wash our hands for bread. We'll make kiddush, we'll wash our hands for bread. The other one said, wow, that's really great. We'll do this. I said, so the one said, okay, I'll bring the bread and the wine for kiddush, and you bring like fish and little vegetables or something, and that's it. We'll have a little meal. We'll, finish it off quick, and that's it. And so they did it. They came in the nighttime. They met in the night, the first night of SUCCOT. They crept over there. They went into the little sukkah. They had a little box that they put in the middle, and there was a little sort of a candle lit over there, a little lamp, whatever, so it wouldn't burn down, and two other little boxes they could sit for chairs. And so one of them said to the other, as they were sitting there, one said to the other, okay, listen, did you bring the fish? He says, yeah, I brought fish. I brought some vegetables. I said, okay, I got 2 pieces of bad news and 1 piece of good news. The other one said, 1 piece of bad news is I couldn't find any wine. I looked all around, couldn't find wine, couldn't find grapes to crush to make grape juice, couldn't find anything. But that's the bad news. But the good news is that I found vodka, and we can make kiddush on vodka. So the other one said, "No, not me. I have a stomach problems. I can't make. I'll get all drunk and everything, I said, listen, come on, we're Chabad Hasidim. We know how to drink. We can hold our liquor, And not only it's a holiday. You have to make kiddush. I said, okay, I'll make a. One second, you said you had 2 pieces of bad news. What's the other piece of bad news? Oh yeah. So listen, I checked out where the sukkah is attached to, and it came out that the sukkah is attached to the back of the KGB offices. The other one said, "Oh, that's pretty bad news." I said, "Yeah, but listen, we'll finish the meal, no time. 10 minutes we'll be out. They'll never notice us. Never notice." I said, "Okay, got no choice. I'll do it." The other one said, "Listen, excuse me." I don't want to go through this with this thing, but it is a holiday, and we do have to be happy. So let's forget about all of our problems and let's do it. So they did it. They made kiddush on vodka, each one. Kiddush, you make a little cup and you make a little blessing and you drink the cup. They went outside quietly and they washed their hands outside. They came back in and they started eating bread. Now, they didn't have much to eat, but the vodka was very good. So the vodka began to have its effects. And as the vodka took more and more effect on their nervous system and their consciousness, as the sukkah became bigger and bigger, and the Russia with the KGB, with the enemies, that became smaller and smaller, until finally there were just 2 Jews sitting with God in the sukkah. And one of them said, "Got to sing a song, got to sing a name. This song." Then the other one said, "Shh." And he started singing until finally they forgot about everything, and they were just singing and dancing in the sukkah. Suddenly they hear knock on the door, and they open up the door. Who's standing there? Ibrim, right? It's a Muslim country, Kazakhstan. Ibrim standing there. "Oh, Ibrim, hi, how are you?" Said, "Hi, Jews, what are you doing?" So one of them said, "Oh, birthday, make a birthday." So I said, "Oh, really? Whose birthday?" So each one points at the other one, his birthday. I said, "Listen, I know that it's your holiday today. How do I know?" Said, "Tell me, you couldn't find a better place to put your booth underneath the offices of the KGB?" I was just in. The reason I'm here is I was sent here. Who sent me? my my cousin Camille. They heard the word Camille. It was like somebody threw a bucket of cold water on them. Camille was the head of the KGB in Kazakhstan, at least in the town where they were, and he was an anti-Semite. He was a known Jew hater, and he was a person hater. He was a person that hated people in general, but especially Jews. So he said, I was in the room with Camille, and Camille heard the noise. He went over, opened up the window. He looked outside, and he called me. And he said to me, "Ibrahim, you know what's down there?" So I looked down and I said, "I don't know. He says, "That's those Jews. They're singing down there. They're drunk." So I said, "Listen, there's nothing in the law that doesn't allow them to get drunk. They can get drunk. They all just have to, report every day." I said, No. Camille said to me, "Those Jews, it's their holiday today. Prosnik, it's their holiday. Those Jews are rejoicing." He said to me like this. He said, "Listen, Ibrahim," Camille said to me, "those Jews know that I hate them. Those Jews know that I would like to kill them. Those Jews know that the whole world hates them. They know that the whole world hates them and the whole world would like to kill them. And what do? They're happy. They're singing. They're dancing. We have our holidays too. But in our holidays, it's nothing like this. not happiness like this. I want you to, told me, Camille told me, I want you to go down and tell those, I would go down myself. Said, but I want you to go down and tell those Jews that I envy them. Tell them that Camille, the head of the KGB, he envies you, that you're happy when everyone hates you. If everybody hated me, I would be miserable. I would be afraid. I would try to keep as low a profile as possible. And look what they're doing. They're happy. They're rejoicing. Tell them that I envy them and tell them a happy holiday. After they got out, Bruce and the other one, they said that that was the best SUCCOT they ever had in their life. That enemies transformed to be friends. And so it will be by the merit of our happiness that all of the enemies of the Jewish people will drop all of their excuses and they say, I don't know why we hated the Jews. I don't know, but we're not doing it anymore. And that will be the job of the Mashiach, that the whole world will recognize the oneness of God. And that's, by the way, what we learn in the mimer. And like I said, I'm going to put this mimer up that I learned, that I taught. This was 3 years ago. I filmed it in Crown Heights. Have a good day with Mashiach now. See you, God willing, tomorrow, Friday. There will be a class. We'll finish this speech of the Rebbe. Shalom. Uvracha. God bless you and have a happy holiday with Mashiach now.
Amen. Thank you.